Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and here we are. It's the ILFL Soccer Night show on a Monday night for you. Now, for the last few weeks, what we've had is we've had Summer League and we've had the Veterans League. All good stuff, all football going on, but what we've all really been waiting for is the start. The highlight, the occasion is here. It's the ILFL 2015-16 winter season that kicked off yesterday. Can you believe it? I don't know what you guys have been putting on your food. It's either too much curry or too much chicken wings, because 90 goals were scored yesterday throughout all three divisions. We're going to have a look at what's going on in the second division. We've got guests from one of the new teams in that division to talk to later. We're going to also have a look at the first division, which I think is going to be probably the most hotly contested division of the three. But as always, we've got to start at the top, and that's the Premier Division. And why not start with the champions? Yes, Stepney FC took on a rebranded version of SCTA, who have now become Hawk and Eagle. Hawk and Eagle, SCTA, they are rebranded, repackaged, a revamped team to play against the Stepney side. And before we see that clip, I'm going to speak to somebody who's coming here from Stepney Football Club to speak to us, none other than the main man, captain of the team, Mr. Shane Baptiste. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Is it something, have you guys been fired up for this, looking forward to it rearing to go?
Well, to be honest, is we have looked forward to the starting the season, and we still are in transitional period as well, because we've merged with BYM as well. We've got some new players joining the team. So yes, it's important to start the season off well, but as I said, we've got to take each game as it comes, and hopefully through if we do progress by winning each game, then yes, the confidence will build for us to go on to bigger and better things throughout the season. But what's important is that we take each game at a time.
The man next to him is Mahbub Hussain, who's now running, proudly running. We can call them a new team as PYO. We spoke about it before. PYO is a name that goes way back, but let's forget about that, because this is all about the new PYO. Good evening to you, sir.
Good evening, sure.
Tell us about the new team now that's coming to the ILFL now.
Okay, we've started the team. It's about 4 months old now. We got a crop of 18-year-olds. I'm looking at obviously strengthening them. We spent the first half of the season in the Summer League with the BFA just to look at the strengths of the team and where we can actually build going into the Winter League. For me, I was always going to enter the ILFL for the winter, as much as I would like to keep the team together during the summer in the BFA League. It's looking promising for us. They're a young bunch of players, and there's a lot of work that we can do with them, and obviously we're learning each week.
But they're an enthusiastic.
Obviously you've seen them play the other week.
I like them. They're an enthusiastic.
They're a very energetic bunch of players, so yeah. I'm quite lucky to have them for the time being.
Well, good. It'd be interesting to speak about them and have a look at how their first game of the season went on. Sandwiched in between the top two divisions is the first division, and I have to speak to my mate Hasnath about the Robin Hood Tigers, who have now emerged from the second division into the first division, and looking forward to, as you've heard me say, probably going to be the most hotly contested division out of the three, I think so. How do you guys go into it after having, a reasonable season last season and a reasonably successful Summer League as well?
Yeah, we've seen all these teams play last year. We know it's going to be good. Some of those teams gave the Premiership teams a run for their money during the Cup games. So, yeah, Tigers go in with minimal change, by the way. This Robin Hood Tigers team is the same as it was last winter and last summer, barring that one signing who seems to be scoring all the goals for us now. So it's definitely going to be a tough league, and I think obviously I'm calling it for my lads, but I think for the neutrals it's going to be difficult to call.
Okay, obviously we did have highlights and footage from the Stepney game, but due to some technical issues, we can't show it now. Something's gone wrong there. I'm hoping the boys behind are doing all that they can and earning their crust, and we'll get that for us sometime later in this segment of the show or later in the show. But what I will do is I won't keep you in suspense. I will show you all of the Premier Division results as they happened yesterday, and we can go back to those highlights later on. So take a look on your screen now. Here are the Premier Division results as they occurred yesterday. At the top there we can see, well, Stepney did what Stepney do. They opened their champion season with a 5-0 win over the Hawk and Eagle team. Lotus, one of those new teams that have come straight into the Premier Division, they've done themselves proud. They opened an account, 10-goal thriller, but they won it by 6-4 against the Leytonstone side. We were talking earlier about, is this the Leytonstone from old, or is this a new Leytonstone that have come in and put 4 past Lotus? We shall see. Tigers and Beaumont, we'll talk about that another time, but Reach Out, again, looking ominous. 6 goals to West End's 2. Early season form, it looks like. The opening games are looking... A lot of goals being scored there. People have got huge intent this season, it seems.
Absolutely. Those 3 certainly want to make a statement. I mean, Lotus, they join us new, but they made their statement in the Summer League, winning the Summer Premier Division. Stepney, everyone said, well, last year it was one of 4 teams that were going to win it. And from now Shane telling us that Stepney's merged with BYM, you can tell it's like they actually want to retain that with no one in the way. So again, big statement from them there. And Reach Out, runners-up to SCTA last year in the First Division, went on to win the Challenge Cup and then had a really poor spell in the summer. So you know they're out there as well. So yeah, actually, even for the teams that received it, I mean, Hawk and Eagle, not much changes. So yeah, it's probably a case of welcome to the Premier League. Leytonstone, still to put 4 past Lotus is not an easy thing to do. Yeah. And West End, well... I mean, they probably didn't know what they were going to expect from Reach Out, and maybe a lack of preparation. But we know West End are runners-up from last year, so that's a division of just champions. Every single team you look at there, you can associate one trophy or another to them.
That's very, very true. But you are the boys that have made the statement, stood out there, 5 goals, didn't concede anyway. I know, listen, we can do the cliche, Shane. We can do the one game. Well, here was the one game. Tell us about it.
Well, I do think it was a game going. When we first prepared for the game, it's quite difficult to know if the new teams have got additional players to join. However, when we did start, we had a great attitude. The guys were mentally prepared for it. We was all fired up, great warm up, and yes, we had players missing, but to prove that we had a good squad. Other players did come in and play, and it was a fantastic result. But Hawk and Eagle, they are a decent team. I know it's 5-0, but they did cause us some problems. They've got strong, quick players. They're quite young, but you know we got the 3 points, which is the main thing. And as I said, start of the season, you want to get 3 points on the board to build momentum to go on to bigger and better things from that.
I have to ask the question. Obviously, you've spoken about the merger, and I know you've had time to make that work and gel. Has that gone better than expected then? You know, the new players coming in to merge with the existing players?
I wouldn't say it's gone better than what I expected, because we know BYM have got quality players, and Stepney, we also got quality players as well. But also, you know, we do understand is that some of the more known players for Stepney was more coming toward more of the twilight years of their career. So now, you know, we had to think it's very important for us to still have the title-winning squad, but also have the quality as well, and BYM players offer that with us as well, and we merged together, and yes, it is going very well. Yeah, it's going very well.
It seems to be the Premier Division has kicked off with a bang. Like I said earlier, 90 goals were scored across the 3 divisions. There were a few right there, but there wasn't the highest scoring division by a long way. Let's have a look at what happened in the First Division. Here they are on your screen, the results from the First Division yesterday. Beaumont Youth and Ace, what is going on there? 13 goals between those 2 teams, but Ace put 9 goals past Beaumont Youth, who refused to lie down and still hit 4 back, but ended up on a losing side. How can you score 4 goals and be on a losing side? Let's ask Leytonstone about that one day. Bow and Stepney B drew 2-2. Both teams, I suppose, will be happy with a point. First game of the season. Robin Hood Tigers came up from the 2nd Division and dealt a severe blow to Burdett, scoring 8 goals and only conceding 1. And Seoul Youth, another one of our new teams into the First Division, have opened their campaign with a 4-0 win over Sire. I have to say, Hasnat, for Sire maybe, went up to the Prem, found it difficult, came back down, had a difficult first game, just a blip, or can we speak very early about a crisis?
Yeah, I think we probably want to avoid talking about crisis for any team.
Oh, all right. Because I stir things up there.
I've felt the wrath of crisis, so I'm the last one. Because I was going to say, I remember a couple of years ago when Sire were in the same division as me, when I went that infamous season, conceding 100 goals, Sire played a part towards that, and they were up and coming. But I think last year the Prem was always going to be too much for them, and we saw the quality of the Prem last year. They've gone down, and I think they've rightfully gone down. If they were to remain in there, it would be an obliteration. So I think this is sort of early days. I think they're coming to terms with First Division, and they haven't actually they probably haven't prepared well enough for this game. But likewise, I probably shouldn't take anything away from Seoul Youth. One of our former teams back again. We know Seoul are, as a title, has a very youthful team. They have a dependency on youth players. They let their Echo League players come in and use this as a sort of extra game. So Seoul Youth have made a statement. Sire, yeah, I think a bit more prep work, but I don't think it's a crisis. I wouldn't like it to be a crisis. So yeah, that's probably them two summed up.
No crisis for Robin Hood Tigers, and equally for Ace, who had an impressive summer league and have just continued that form into the First Division. They just look ominous, don't they?
Yeah, they're out to make a start. I know they had a preference to go into the Premier League, and I mean it wasn't going to be at least for this year. So I know they're going to do what they have to get in there, and they've already assessed that they've got Robin Hood in their division. Beaumont Youth, I mean, even though that's a team they beat, as you can see, Beaumont Youth are another team, free scoring team. So Ace have already worked out that this division might even go down to goal difference, like the second division did last year. So Ace know what they've got to do. They're out there to do it, and I think that those three, actually, I might be wrong at the end of the season, but those three, Beaumont Youth, Ace and Robin Hood Tigers, are probably going to be the three that are going to tussle it, and it will probably be down to the likes of goals scored, for all we know. Well,
Bow and Stepney's B-side may have something to say. We saw Bow on their day last season. They can put up a result, and then the next week we just don't know what's happened to them. Stepney's B-side have progressively just steadily got better and better and better, and I'm sure they're going to want to have a say in what happens.
Well, I don't know if Shane's got anything to say about that, but Stepney B players, the impressive ones, we end up reinforcing their A team, and I've got a feeling that's what they've done, because that team is a very stable team. I mean, the likes of Ruku and Tarek overseeing that team, when there is outstanding talent, I'm pretty sure that outstanding talent just gets pushed in with the A team just to reinforce that A team. So I think they're quite settled where they are, and that result yesterday sort of reflected that. Again, Bow, up and down, but they're going to be quite happy where they are, middling it all, and I think the same with Stepney B. But I might be wrong. It's very early days.
Interesting comments. I can feel Shane itching on my shoulder to say something about that. And maybe we'll let him do so in the second part of the show. Already, for me anyway, opening games, opening week, I can already see a game between Stepney and Lotus in the Premier Division being a game that I'm looking forward to. I'm looking already at the First Division and seeing a game between Ace and Robin Hood Tigers is a game to look forward to. I was itching at the edge of the chairs waiting to talk about the Second Division, as I am too, to share with you, which we are going to do in the next part of the show. Second Division, and the Veterans League and everything else to talk about in the next part of the show. So stick around, we'll be right back after this short break.